similar inquiries from the floor. So, Mr. Lansing, we're going to start with you on this. Where we stand is the most culturally diverse community in America and probably the world. And many of us here revel in that and enjoy that and find out that that's a strength for who we are. But there is an issue of undocumented immigrants. And these are some of the thoughts that have come to us, and we'd like you to address them, please. What legislation would you support regarding undocumented immigration? Prescribe your ideal path to citizenship for them, if any. Would you change the DREAM Act, which allows the children of people who came here to get into our system? Should all undocumented immigrants be deported? And how do you think this could be accomplished? And we've heard that discussion on the national stage. How do you feel about the children of these undocumented immigrants being educated in our school at the taxpayers' expense and the affordability of health care? You know, we do have universal health care. It's called an emergency room. So, you know, how does that work with people who are, undocumented and not paying into the system? And do you feel that the legislation in Arizona, Alabama, and Georgia, which allows the police to stop you for no probable cause, check out your papers, and then if perchance you don't have the right paperwork, for you to be deported immediately, do you think that's the type of legislation that you support? And I think we'll start with you, because that's a tough question.
So 2 minutes for each part, right?
Yeah, sure. Go quick.
This is the most culturally diverse community in the United States, and most of us revel in that. Some of us don't, but I do. And the Assembly District that I represent, which includes a large part of this area, is, I like to brag, the most diverse Assembly District in New York State. I don't know if that's exactly true, but I think it is, and I'm very proud of that fact. All of us are immigrants or the children of immigrants. And immigration and the issues that immigrants face touch every one of our households. Touches my own. My wife is an immigrant from Iran. After the Islamic Revolution, the Jewish community was, for all intents and purposes, expelled, fled. Many came to the United States, including my wife, some to Israel, some to other places. It's very important that we embrace immigration here in New York City and in the United States. It is what has made this city and this country great. Now, in the limited time that I have, I will focus on something that you brought up and you mentioned, which is the DREAM Act, which is legislation that exists at the state level, something called the DREAM Act and the DREAM Fund, and at the national level as well, which is essentially aimed at, as you alluded to, helping young people who came to this country illegally, through no fault of their own, with their parents, have the opportunity, if they've served their country in the military, or if they have performed other criteria, have them have the opportunity to get an education, have them have the opportunity at some point to become citizens. And I would frame it this way, and this is how I framed it when I was standing with a young woman, a Korean woman, college age, who wanted to go on to graduate school, but couldn't, because she wasn't a citizen and didn't have the resources. Why would we as a country want to turn away a young woman who's got the brains and the industry and the commitment to go on and be a doctor or a lawyer or some other professional and send her back to some other country? As an American, I want that woman on my team, and I want to give her the opportunity to work, to get an education, and to become a citizen one day.
Thank you very much, sir. Mr. Cho, would you, excuse me, am I pronouncing that name right? Cho?
Yeah. I think some people in China, Hong Kong, Taiwan, because different dialect, they pronounce it a little differently, but Cho's fine. I think
I'm Irish, I apologize.
No, they pronounce differently in different regions too. So.
I guess I'm from the South.
First, I support the DREAM Act. I'm not in favor of local police force being involved in immigration. If somebody commits a crime, yes, stop them by all means. But to racially profile people, stop them first, or say, well, this quote-unquote looks like an immigrant, I don't know, that's a tough job. It's a tough job for me if I walk in Flushing to see, well, who's documented, who's undocumented. It creates fears in their life. On the issue of immigration, I believe there should be a pathway to citizenship. Right now we have, right, documented, green card, illegal aliens, undocumented. I believe that they should be given a chance, provided they're not, major drug dealers and criminals or terrorists, that they be given a pathway to citizenship. It could be a temporary ID card, something where we see that, they're able to get a driver's license, go to work, pay taxes, because believe it or not, they're doing that right now. Many of them that's undocumented, they're living in our lives now. They're going to school, they're using this hospital, But at the same time, I don't want to come to a point where we're pitting, the new immigrant workers with the workforce that's being downsized, offshore, outsourced, and then they're looking for work here. So I don't want that kind of tension to happen where, well, you know what, the immigrant labor is cheaper, it's better, we might as well hire them, and then it creates a way, well, American workers cannot get jobs, so I don't want that to happen either. So the discussion that we all need to have, but I think to have massive deportation, to build a huge wall, to put them all in prison, and to put them, that's inhumane, that's incorrect, especially, think about it, their children are born here, they're American citizens, so to just deport the parents and separate the family, that is not just. I don't believe that's the intent of this country. Look at where it began, right? The natives lived here, Europeans came, occupied this country, then African slaves brought here against their will, and then for hundreds of years, the doors are open to all the people to come. Just about recently, due to the economic downturn, we want to clamp down, but if we had the job, if we built the economy, then I believe this is a land that we could all live in.
Thank you very much. Since we're now just at the table, Ms. Crowley, would you be so kind?
I'm a granddaughter of immigrants. I think many of us in the room have, whether you're an immigrant yourself or the son or granddaughter of, and I believe it's healthy for immigrants to come into our community. I think that ultimately, I'm very proud to have represented such a diverse community in the City Council, and I would be given the opportunity to represent this district in Congress. I also, to answer the questions at hand, we need as a country to come together and to pass some real immigration reform. Some of the reforms that have been introduced I support, some of them I do not. One that I do support is the DREAM Act, where we do give opportunity for those kids who came here through no choice of their own and that may not have even realized that they didn't have the documents that would give them the status that you need to go on to college and to receive financial aid, and we need to make sure that those kids especially have an opportunity to become citizens and give them a pathway. Been here for so long, gone through our public education system, deserve an opportunity in higher education to receive student loans or any grants made available to ordinary citizens who are here with us. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ms. Mang, would you be so kind?
Thank you for that question. First, I want to say that there have been a lot of reports that have shown if we were able to logistically take all of the illegal immigrants and ship them back to their country, it would cost too much money. America simply can't afford to do that. And not to mention all the broken families that we would have here in America. Let me try to do this as quickly as possible. Laws like the ones in Arizona, I would not support. And, these are some more extreme examples. But throughout history, we've been shown time and time again that it's not right and it's not fair to judge people based on the way they look or based on their religion. And we've seen that in the Holocaust. We've seen that with Japanese internment camps right here in America. And I would also say that if you saw me on the street, I was born here. I was made in America, and I'm proud to be an American citizen. But if there was a law like the one in Arizona, I or my two kids, Tyler and Brandon, would easily be stopped at any given minute. I do support the DREAM Act for economical reasons. I want our kids to have the opportunity to go to the school of their choice. I want our kids to be able to get the job of their choice and to pay their taxes and to bring revenue back to New York State. But more importantly, even before we do that, something that what I would make my top priority is to reduce the backlog of the immigration agency, USCIS, for the many immigrants who have come legally and and who have been waiting here legally, whether on student visas or are petitioned by their family members. These are people who have followed the rules, and they should be taken care of first.
Dr. Goodman?
Yes. The first thing I want to start off saying is, most important thing is we need a comprehensive immigration policy. You have a dam that's leaking, not from one spot, but from several spots. You got to seal up the dam before you decide anything else. In other words, you have to support strong borders, securing our borders to protect our natural security, and stop anyone from violating our immigration laws. Now, past that, then I support a path to legal residency for the people who have lived, worked, and paid taxes into our system. These are our nation's